I'm Mayor Nancy Sharp. Welcome to the March edition of the Greenwood Village Mayor's Show. One of the unique attributes of living in Greenwood Village is the quality of our neighborhoods. Our neighborhoods are desirable places for families, retirees, and empty nesters to live. During this month's Mayor's Show, we're going to take a look at the safety of our neighborhoods and discuss why neighborhood safety is so important to the village. We'll learn about the things the village is doing to keep our neighborhoods safe, as well as to educate residents on what you can do to make sure your home and neighborhoods remain a safe place for you and your family. Residents of the village have their own rating when it comes to the safety of their neighborhoods.
My neighborhood in Greenwood Village is a really safe place. I feel really safe living here, and I'm never afraid of anything.
Well, I really feel safe living here in Greenwood Village. For one thing, I think our home is real safe. We have a security system and try to, make sure everything's, safe there. But besides that, I also feel that I see the police patrol the neighborhood, which is wonderful, and they check to make sure things at the home are safe. And when your garage door is left open, they leave you a nice notice in the mailbox, which we just got about a week ago, which was great for me to share with my teenage boys who tend to forget often, and they were very surprised to think that people really did care and watch. So that's a wonderful thing to have. Also, we know our neighbors. I think knowing neighbors is important, knowing who lives where, and if there's kids in the neighborhood, where they can go if their mom and dad aren't home. That is also safe, and I think it's important to know who lives around you, and knowing that the police patrol continually, and I see them. That makes me feel very safe.
With many responsibilities and tasks, much effort is put forth by the village to keep the neighborhoods safe and improve the quality of life of residents. But what can residents do to keep their own homes and neighborhoods safe? I had the opportunity to meet with a member of the police department who took me on a tour of a home to show us what we can do to make sure our homes, our neighborhoods, and ourselves do not become targets for criminals. So Alden, what are we going to do here today?
Well, good morning, Mayor Sharp. We're going to look at this home and evaluate it for crime prevention. That will help other people in the community and their homes be safer. And by evaluating the home for crime prevention and making sure that it is safe in respect to personal safety and structural security, that will help better the quality of life of everyone in the community.
Great. Well, let's go in and get started.
All right.
Alden, what are we going to start talking about today in terms of crime prevention and how our residents can really understand that a little bit better and what they can do to keep their homes safe?
Well, we're going to talk about crime prevention. And crime prevention is basically the anticipation or recognition of a crime or risk and then the initiation of some type of action to reduce the risk. We have a form that we use. It's a crime prevention notice that the officers carry on patrol. And what happens with this form is when we're driving around, we see an open garage door. For example, the officer will check this sheet off, and it'll say open door located where. If there's any unsecured property they may see in the garage, maybe like a car parked with the keys in it or ski equipment or something like that. And then this gives the resident a little bit of a heads up as to how their property is secured or unsecured, and then they can call in if they want for a crime prevention survey. That's a follow-up by an officer to come to their home, as we're doing now, to look at the structure of the home and find out how they can make their home a little bit more secure or how secure their home is, based on the locks and the visibility, and we'll call it territorial reinforcement. Those are some of CPTED concepts. And CPTED is an acronym for Crime Prevention Through Environmental Design.
Well, I know I've gotten a few of those for a garage door that I've left open, or when our back door is open, and I really appreciate. I think it's really useful to know that we did that, and and for children when they're coming and going too, for them to be aware that these are things that they need to understand, and close and lock doors when they leave the house, at a garage door as well. So I've really appreciated those when I've gotten them over the last 21 years at our house.
So we're going to start with the front door. We're going to look at the door and the structure of the door. It's a double door, obviously. They have a regular lock here. The lock is secured on the door. It's not loose. If it was loose, then I would recommend they tighten it. They have a deadbolt lock, which is really recommended for most main doors into a home. The bolt comes out. It's secure. It doesn't move back in with simple force. Otherwise, the lock would be deficient and they'd have to replace the lock. And then I'm looking here at the location of where the lock is set in the door. It goes inside the door, and there's a couple of screws holding it, and it only goes in so far. This door is secured because there's a bolt that goes up into the top header here, and then one down into the floor header to secure the door and make it more secure, so you can't just open the door. And that's an important part. Both of those should be locked so the door can't swing in. And in this case, they are. A lot of burglars look for homes that are quiet in neighborhoods where there's not a lot of people around, where there's a little bit more foliage, where they conceal themselves, where they want to blend into an area. And in the past, when we have some burglars where they've kicked in the front door, the burglars come up, find a door that isn't as secure, and basically just try to kick in the front door. Some people have taken the action that they put in a security door, a wrought iron security door, in front of their front doors, and that way they can open their front doors, leave them open. They have the security door there with either a glass in it, and it also has a deadbolt. So that makes the front door, the front entrance, a little bit more secure. Okay. And it gives a visual perception to a bad guy that these people are taking an interest in the security of their home, and maybe they should go find an easier target.
Well, and I know we keep hearing the beeping, and there's a security alarm in this house. Can you talk a little bit about the security alarm and
certainly
what it does, and if is there anything else on the door that people should be aware of before we go to talk about the security system?
Well, obviously this door has glass in it, and you can see out of the glass. Some of it's frosted, and it's like a stained glass design. But still, if someone comes up in front and notice there's a porch light that can be turned on, you can look out and you can see who's there. And that's a good thing to do, to identify that person. With the alarm system, obviously, some people have signs out in front of their home that say that they have an alarm system, and that in itself would be a deterrent to a burglar, because if the alarm is activated with that beeping, the alarm is not activated now. If it were activated when the door is open, the alarm would go off as an audible alarm. It would be very loud through the neighborhood, and that would send a signal to the alarm company, as well as alert the neighbors, or maybe a passing police car, that there's an alarm going off in the area. And most alarms can be heard for quite some distance. So this is working well. There's a sensor on this door that is tied to the alarm system, and then it's all tied into this alarm panel here. And this is a good location for an alarm panel, because that way usually there's a delay when the resident sets the alarm. So they may have 30 seconds or a minute to get out of the house once they set their code in, and then the alarm activates. Or when they come in, there's a delay when the alarm activates, so they can turn the panel off. It's very important for residents when they have guests in the home, when they have cleaning people come to the home, that they give them the proper code, and then that way it won't turn in a false alarm, because every time we get a false alarm, and most alarms are false, that the police would have to respond. So it's a very important idea to know your alarm system, make sure the people who are going to use it know how to activate the alarm system.
How to use it properly.
So now we can move forward, and we're going to look at some windows and other aspects of the home.
Okay.
All right.
Great. Let's go.
Now, Mayor, we're looking at one of the windows in the home. This is a basement window, and it has the same locking mechanism as I've seen the other windows have upstairs. In this case, the screen is on the inside rather than on the outside. So that way the window itself has alarm sensors here and connected to the alarm system, obviously. And then we have the crank window type system. So when this is closed, it's very important that the resident make sure that this is locked securely. Otherwise, someone could pull the window open and break the mechanism and enter through the window. Okay. Now we're going to move over here to the sliding glass door, and this is there are various different models of sliding glass doors. This has a turnkey type lock, and it locks with a bolt that goes in the top of the door and the bottom of the door. So when it's closed, it's secure. A way to make this a little bit more secure so someone can't pull it back if those locks fail is to put a burglar bar here, and it's basically a bar that's installed in the frame, and then it drops down and it blocks the door in the center, so that way someone can't pull the door back and forth. It's also a good idea to make sure that your screen is working properly. That's a little bit more of a deterrent to slow somebody down if they're trying to get into a home. And also make sure that there's nothing large and hard objects outside that someone could use to actually just smash the glass out and enter that way. Mayor, we're standing here now at the basement stairwell, and this one obviously doesn't have a door. There used to be a door here, but they decided to take it off to make it more open. There's adequate lighting here, but most homes, a lot of homes do have basement doors, and the switch is located right in the entranceway here. One way you can secure the basement area from the main level is to put a deadbolt lock with a single throw on it. So that way, if someone does break in through the basement windows or doors, they have a more difficult time entering the main area of the home. Now you want to be careful to consider that if you use the basement area for sleeping quarters, because that way you would lock someone down the basement, and obviously you wouldn't want to do that. But this again is a good way, if you don't use the basement or use it for storage, to keep that area secure. More secure. You're welcome. Nancy, we're outside of the home now. We've looked at the inside of the front door area and the interior of the home. Now we're going to focus a little bit on the outside and the exterior, as I said, of the home, and what people can do to make their home appear less attractive to someone from the criminal side of life.
Okay, and we're going to look at windows, doors, and the garage door. Is that correct?
That's correct. We're going to look at. We're also going to look at landscaping as well, because that's an important factor in providing good, we'll call it natural surveillance of the area around your home. Right, here we are in the front of the home, and we're looking at the front doors. It's a double door entranceway. Some doors obviously have single door entranceways, but it's open. The shrubbery is cut at low level, so people inside can see out. And the windows, you can see visibly that they have some storm windows, or they're double paned. They're all closed, which is an important aspect that we talked about before. It's important to have these crank type windows closed completely and locked when you're gone from your home. That way they cannot be easily pulled open and allow entryway by a burglar. There's some lighting here. There's a porch light, which gives good visibility at nighttime. And then there's another light behind us here near the bushes, as well as some other small pathway lighting, which provides visibility, and it tells an undesired user that the people have taken care of their property and they have an interest in the safety and security of their property.
Alden, what about these bushes here? They're a little bit taller. Is it okay that they're further away from the house versus being up really close, because somebody couldn't hide behind them necessarily?
Yes, these bushes are well kept. They're well trimmed in a particular type of design. It wouldn't hurt to trim them down just a little bit, so you'd have visibility a little bit more toward the driveway area, or so maybe perhaps this one bush could be thinned out a little bit so you can see through the bush, give you a little bit better surveillance of the driveway area. But for the most part, they're well kept up and well trimmed, and it shouldn't really be a problem because they're set back far enough from the front door. If they were really close to the front door, then I would say that they need to relook at re-landscaping those bushes.
All right.
Okay.
So our next step is to go look at the garage. Is that garage?
Yes.
door?
Let's
Is
go
that
to the
correct?
garage area and look at that area, and we'll talk about the lighting up near the eaves and around the garage.
Good.
Yes, we're on the side of the house now, where the garages are, and it's a 3-car garage. There's one double door garage, and then there's a single car garage here. Both doors are closed, and that's really a good thing, because quite often in driving on directed patrol in the neighborhoods, we find garage doors that are left open. We find vehicles in the garages, sometimes keys in the vehicles. And in order to deter auto thefts and burglaries from the garages, we really highly encourage people to take the keys out of your cars, don't leave them in the garages, and keep the doors closed.
And for women, not to leave your purse in the car or to leave any other valuables in the car, too.
That's correct. All valuables should be kept out of eyesight. Now, of course, if it's in your garage, the door's closed, that shouldn't be a problem. Sometimes garages have exterior doors that lead from the outside of the house into the garage, such as like near the driveway. Those doors should have a deadbolt on them. If there are glass windows in those doors, they should have safety glass and tempered safety glass, so that way eliminate or slow down the possibility of someone breaking the window and reaching in and unlocking the door.
So tempered safety glass helps. I didn't realize there was a difference between, in terms of safety, different types of glass.
There are different types of glass. You should use a stronger type of glass, and any good glass company should be able to provide the type of information or type of glass that you should use for that application. There's also security coatings that you can put over a solid piece of glass or small pane glass in order to slow or deter someone from breaking in through the glass, reaching in and just opening the door. And oftentimes we find that the garage doors are closed, but perhaps the side door, the lock is broken or damaged or worn, and that should be replaced. So that's something else we would cover in the home security survey. And that'll help keep your home safer and more secure. Also on the garage here we have a couple different types of lighting. We have some floodlights that are on the eaves of the house, and those are really good. Those can be controlled by either a switch inside the house, or as in the case of this one light over the driveway here, it has a motion detector, and that means that you can set it for a certain distance, and if you drive up in the evening, the light will come on and provide visibility for you, so you can see around the area of your garage, not only just for the driveway, not so much for the vehicle, but so much for lighting the surrounding area, so you can see whether someone is hiding in the bushes, someone's nearby your home.
And if somebody walks up, it will illuminate the area. So if somebody who's not supposed to be there walks up, illuminate the area and really help protect the home.
Help protect the home, and that will alert the person that they have security lighting in the home. And again, psychologically, that tells the criminal possibly if this is working, something else might be working, and they might go somewhere else. Sometimes that the lights go off or activate when, say, a fox or another animal comes by the area, but you should only stay on for maybe a few minutes and then turn off again. So that shouldn't really be a problem.
What about these bushes right over here?
Well, these bushes are evergreen bushes. They're rather large and older bushes. They're very dense, and they've grown too high. They're way above the level of the window. You really can't effectively look out of the window and see the surrounding area around the home. So they should be trimmed down and thinned out, and especially away from the side of the house to reduce hiding areas for potential bad guys.
Okay. It's also important to know your neighbors and their habits and yours as well, so that if you do see something strange or a car parked out in front of someone's house that you don't think should be there, you can call and check on it. If you ever think that there's anything that's suspicious, homeowners should feel free to comfortable to call the police department if they do suspect anything suspicious is going on. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Everyone should feel comfortable calling the police department if they have a question or a problem.
It's important for all of us to know our neighbors and our neighborhood and I guess get to know their habits a little bit. Is that correct?
That is correct. The neighborhood is your home. It's where people obviously spend a lot of their time, and you want to get to know your neighbors. Try to get your neighbors' phone numbers, whoever lives on the sides of you, and be aware of what's going on around your neighborhood. If you hear a neighbor's dog barking, for instance, try to find out the reason why the dog's barking. It may be early in the morning, but there must be a reason The dog could be barking at a fox, could be barking at a squirrel, or it could be barking at a person who's actually in the neighbor's backyard who's not supposed to be there. So try to find out what's going on. If you have motion detector lights, as we discussed earlier, and they come on, look and find out what's the cause of the illumination of those lights and the dog barking. If you see your neighbor's garage door open and you know that's out of character for them to have it open during the day, you know that they've worked during the day, try to give them a call or give us a call and let the police come by. Pay attention if you hear noises in the middle of the night. Get up, find out what the source of that noise is. Look out your windows. Use the visibility that you have in your home to look out of the windows and see what's going on in your neighborhood from time to time.
I know that we have used the vacation watch program.
Right.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
We have a house watch program, we call it. We have 2 districts in the city, and you call in to the police department, they'll fill out a form, and then a copy of that form goes in a watch book, which the officer in the district carries with him. And then during the day, the officer will go by your home and check your home to make sure that everything looks okay.
Good. Officer Langer, thank you for spending so much time with us today. It takes all of us in our community working together to make our neighborhoods safe. And we hope you'll call with any questions that you have to the village or to the police department. And thank you for joining us today on GVTV.